Welcome to the Cello Lee Scale Course Part 1. This is going to cover 2 octave scales for the first 6 easier scales in the 12 major scales. I would definitely start with this course first before moving on to Part 2. This is going to give you the real base for everything else that you're going to learn in the future. One thing you may be wondering is, what is an octave? So I've been saying two octave. So an octave is 8 notes, oct 8. So you can think of it like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So that's one octave. So you're playing from A to A or B to B, C to C. So 2 octaves would be A to A and then to the next A. So you're playing 2 octaves, the first one and then the second one. Today we're going to learn about whole steps and half steps. So you can think about a whole step is if you were to skip a step on the stairs. So like let's say you're walking up the stairs and you jump over one of them. A half step, of course, is just going up the little steps, right? You're not skipping anything. A great way to think about it on the cello, if you don't have any piano experience, is to consider your first position. So you should already know where first position is on the cello. So think about from your first finger to your second finger. There's no room in between, right? Theoretically, there's no spot for you to put your finger in between your first and your second finger. But if I were to go from my first finger to my third finger, there's a note in the middle, right? We have our second finger right in the middle. So this is a whole step, okay? Whole step. You're skipping that little step. But a half step is this guy. We just go from one to the note right next to it. And that's going to be the same if we are here or if we're here. You can think about anything. So all these little steps in between, those are half steps. But then a whole step is going to be skipping one. So we could do first finger to third finger, or even an extension, which is something we're going to learn. But just always remember whole steps and half steps. The formula for the major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I'm going to do the first one with you. So with C major, if we start 4th finger on the G string, that's C. Now we need a whole step. So C, not C sharp, but we need to go to C to D. So C, D. Now another whole step, D to E, because we're skipping this guy right here. Okay, now we need a half step. So instead of going to our 3rd finger for F sharp, we're going to go to F natural or 2nd finger. So it's our half step. So now we need whole, 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 half, right? So whole step from here, we're going to skip this guy, go to our 4th finger, whole step. G to A is a whole step. A to B is a whole step. And then we need a half step, just right next door. So all together, it looks like this. Or whole step, half, whole, 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 half. Besides half steps and whole steps, the 2 very important things that we're going to be covering in this course are extensions and shifting. So here are just some tips before you get started on extensions. So we know that when you are extending, that means you're stretching, right? So let's say I'm going to play the D major scale. The first octave, we start on our first finger, D, and then we need E and then F sharp, right? For our whole step, half step, all of that. So if we go D to E, now we need F sharp. So remember, sharp goes up, so it goes higher in pitch. So I can't go 1, 3, 4 because that's F natural. That's not F sharp. So to get this guy stretched, instead of stretching our pinky, which is really hard to do because, I mean, look how small my pinky is compared to my other fingers, we need to put our second finger where our third finger normally goes. So I'm gonna remove my third finger and scooch over my second finger. So D, E, and now F sharp. So these guys, I'm just gonna put down in half steps. There's F natural, and there is F sharp. So 1, 2, 4. That's gonna be the fingering for D major, and that's how we do extensions. So remember, always stretch between your first and second finger, not your third and fourth finger, okay? And that's gonna go for anytime you have any kind of extension. Maybe here, E flat, F, G, or maybe A flat, B flat, C. That's also an extension, and notice that these guys are sitting on the fingerboard in half steps, and we've got a whole step right here, but no finger between. So it always comes back to whole steps and half steps, doesn't it? We're gonna be going over some new techniques, including extensions where we stretch our fingers. We're gonna stretch forwards, we're gonna stretch backwards, we're gonna shift. We might even go up a little, a little higher than you would expect, but it's gonna be okay, we've got this. So anything that might be a little bit confusing, I'm gonna put in the screen and also have it below each scale as a separate file, separate data for you to look at while you're practicing.